Man, what's shaking and baking world? It's your boy, the Toothless Wonder. Ooh, oh! Coming back with another video. I be finding it hard making time to do these videos. I don't know. I guess, my personal life, people say I help them, but ultimately I'm just trying to help myself or use this therapy, vent, whatever the case may be. Um, but I think this topic is just beyond, you know, this aspect of the matrix and what we call, quote unquote, dating. Boy, this shit is off the motherfucking chain, Joe. Man. At this point, it's so crazy. And I'm coming from a male, looking at the female dynamic, right? It almost it's almost dangerous to do natural stuff. It's almost dangerous or could become a liability to a man who's, self-aware, self-actualized, attempting to, put his purpose first, the almighty, so on and so forth. Man, this shit is crazy. I don't get it. And then for the guys the vast majority of guys that I know that are married on these long-term committed relationships, I was just listening to a New Breed video and he read a verse out of, I believe, Sirach. And it was just talking about how you'll become, and I'm paraphrasing, you'll basically become a shell of your former self. Like these women just chip away at these dudes so much so he ain't got no more gusto left. Like the light is gone from their eyes. And man, essentially the way I say it, and I tell them to their face, and it's like they be amazed that I know what I know. It's almost like they want you dumb. But if you think about it objectively, what woman would want to be attached to a man that she can rule over, that is stupid? You know what I'm saying? If you think about it. Because then when it's time to do some man stuff, who you gonna go get? But again, we live in this inverted reality. I don't know how it is other places. That's why I like to travel. But here in Babylon, and from what I hear, just Western culture in general, but I think here is the most pronounced. It doesn't make any sense to quote unquote date. When I think back over my life, I've never dated anyone. I've never done a lot of stuff before I came to know the truth. I never did things the mainstream way. Typically, dating to me, like I've never dated anybody. Typically what happens is, because you can only attract those you're in proximity to. So based on if we live in the same area or we have the same social hobbies or mutual friends, right? We're in the same proximity. And ultimately what happens is some mutual interest gets conjured by being in proximity of one another. And then what happens is we decide to do something I already do. We're just going to do that together. And I noticed because of that, like the whole attempting to impress someone and put on a face of who you think you want them to be and all that is not really in effect because we're already interested because we're seeing how each other move, being each other energy presence, so on and so forth. But I was looking at they came up with those, like, and then guys came out with these lists of where they're not going. So it make it look like the movies, Cheesecake Factory. We're not going to church. We're not going to the gym. And New Breed, again, shout out to that brother, made a very valid point. If women have named these 20 places that are like Applebee's, Chili's, that they're not going or refuse to go because they deserve better, it's not even that. We're going into this gray area of transactional dating, aka gray area prostitution. Like, I'm too good to go for that, but we can just skip all this, how much you're going to pay for dinner and get to know me. Because if you attempt to get to know these people, there's no substance to them. There's nothing to get to know. They're empty vessels. So it almost, here in Babylon, if you want that, it's almost safer to do it the wrong way and just buy the box. But that's against my religion. I just can't see myself digging in my wallet, just for some, no, man, I just can't do it, man. So for a lot of brothers such as myself, it almost by force almost, or in wisdom, it forces you to go on, as they say, the monk mode or the semen retention, or just focus on yourself. Because in reality, outside of sex that she's given to 1,000 other people, what having her in your life for any even short extended period, what does it do? Like, what do you get out of it? What does it uplift that you already didn't have going on? Like, if men didn't need coochie, I could make the argument that women, as they're currently constructed in Western culture, are obsolete. That's why most, especially black women, they're all mannish, or if you talk to them, they all basically have the same mindset. And you can't build with that, because you might be attracted to her look, but her mindset is what's going to raise your kids. You know what I'm saying? Her mindset is going to dictate her loyalty, her principles, her values, which most have none. Most are just opportunistic at whatever cost. Yeah, it'll probably mess me up down the road, but it'll benefit me now for the next 5 minutes, so go ahead. You know what I mean? Like, this place, it can't go on like this. It's not sustainable. Where the men and the women are at odds, or when the women, even if they're not actively in it, they don't take a stance against those who live that type of lifestyle. Like, I got more respect for the woman who just, she's just out there, and you know what I'm saying? So you know what you're getting into. But I've been, in various, like, work or at the bar, and I've seen it, like, even almost a decade ago, when I guess my awareness was kicking up. I was actually at a bar, that was just outside of an army base. So you had this, like, kind of different dynamic of, people who are in the army coming from these various parts of the country going to a bar that's actually down the road from, like, the hood. And it used to amaze me because, and some of the women I probably knew of them from previous seasons of life, whatever. And I'm like, oh, she's got a college education, or, she has her own cookie making business, or whatever the case may be. Which typically you would do that so that you don't have to sell tail. But they'll still have all that going on and still sell tail. Oh, this is an extra $100 or whatever. It's like, wow, yo. Like, I'll be honest, man, they just despicable, man. Like, ew, like, there's nothing to you. And I don't know what to blame. I guess, the programming of, mass media, social media, music, whatever. But even beyond that, there seems to be, and I've heard other people say it, this spirit of Jezebel, this spirit of whoredom that is running rampant. You can't trust D-Broad. You can't trust what they say. And a lot of times you can't even trust what you see them do. You have to be able to read who they are when they're not around you. And that kind of sounds very what's the word I'm looking for here? Paradoxical, I guess. Like, how could you read someone when they're not around you? You know what I mean? But I think you can just get a feeling of, they'll put on a nice front, whoever they think you want them to be, that'll get them the best outcome, whatever they're trying to accomplish in that particular dynamic. But outside of that, when they're by themselves, man. And here's another aspect based on who it invokes a lot of demons and spirits on these women. Now, I understand women are just naturally emotional, by factory setting. But, bro, the average woman, and now as I become more healed, I can see it. Man, most of these, especially black, are demon riddled. Like, when they get by them, that's why they always have to, deal with some dude. Because when they're by themselves, those demons and all the whatever they've done in the past beat them up. So they use guys or going here as a distraction to not deal with, the dirt they've been doing. It's amazing. And I just thank the Most High that he's placed me on this path of healing and wisdom. You know what I'm saying? Now I understand why wisdom, like especially in America, you like, what would I get if I could? Like money, property, all that outward stuff. But that's gonna do as we see in the celebrity world, unless you have any wisdom. Wisdom is what saves. Now money can be a defense, but a fool and his money will soon depart. But man, yo, this is crazy, yo. It's so terrible that brothers are seeing the bad deal and they're having to go clear across the planet. Not even necessarily for a wife, but just for a feminine experience. I believe I was listening to my man, the Thinking Man's Templar, and he said something very profound, in which he said there are a lot of and I thought about it when he said it. I'm like, yo, I've only seen like two who grow up in these democratic northern cities who their entire lifetime will never experience or even see a feminine black woman. That's amazing. Like I was talking to the girl at the job, and she's a little thick or whatever, and I'm like, if you're not careful, and she, plays for the other team, you know what I'm saying? So you know what that means, right? So I'm talking to her like, yo, you gotta come home, like, you letting all that goodness go to waste, and you know what I'm saying? You're designed to have babies and so on and so forth. And we talk, she don't get offended or nothing, you know what I mean? But I'm like, this is like, I'm just perplexed because I'm like, if you're not careful, as you cross over 25, start inching to 30, based on, like, you're gonna end up being the mammies, the big black woman who just gives men a hard time. You know what I'm saying? Like nobody, if you think about it, nobody outside of like trying to fuck, and then you say all niggas want to do is fuck. Yeah, because there's nothing else. There's nothing that would make me want to be around you. You know what I'm saying? Like the interaction, the energy isn't conducive or appeasing, enlightening. I'd rather just be by my damn self. If I ain't bent you over somewhere, and then the way I'm set up, if there's nothing inwardly or substance wise or of your person, of your energy, of your spirit that would chime me in, I don't want to bend you over. You know what I mean? Like you can be fat all day long. You just fat to me. But it don't mean like you could offer it to them like, nah, I'm good. Cause I already know what's gonna come behind that. Whole bunch of dumb. And then if you're the decent brother, right? It seems like these women like get a notch on their belt by destroying or at the very least causing discomfort, pain to a quote unquote good or decent man. Like they don't do that to the proverbial Pookie and the Ray Ray. He can sleep with her friends, she'll still mess with him and steal her money, go to jail, woo 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 woo. But if you're like the decent dude with a decent heart, not perfect of course, but like she can pick up that you genuinely care. Man, if you don't have the ability to bounce to the ounce once the switch up happen, man, she about to hand your ass to you. She gonna have you looking all crazy. And then 9 times out of 10, like nowadays your homeboys ain't sticking no code. So just to F you up, she'll sleep with her homeboy and don't care how it make her look. She gets off and feels good on the fact she caused you pain. Like, God damn. Now, me, myself, I understand, in wisdom, I guess anybody can get got. But, man, I can't see it because, like, with not just dating, work, which I've done and been, hired back with a raise. And I guess I lost out on the money of the probably 7.5 months that I wasn't working. But I've gained, and which all men, I believe, want is respect. A greater respect because I was able to walk away from something when it wasn't conducive to me. And be cool with the fallout. But I can't stand for that. No, sir. No, sir. Just accept many old. They said drinking from every cup that's given is how you get poisoned. Like I say no more than I say yeah. And now look, going back to this whole quote unquote dating thing, there's not a whole lot to say yeah to. Now trust and believe, I'm a man just like everybody else. I want to go, you know what I'm saying? But in wisdom and just remembering, pain of the past and things of that nature. Even if I don't want to, I still know how to discipline myself and just not go about it. And feel good and feel intact that I'm able to control myself and not do things for, instant gratification. That's going to cause me long-term pain and suffering. That's going to, be a knock to my reputation, my character. You know what I mean? Giving someone an end who ain't got no business. You know what I'm saying? Like I haven't dealt with women in years, like interpersonally, sexually, whatever you want to call it. But and I'll give you an example. Within, well, I ain't talked to her about, I guess working on about 5 months, and I had cut her off. But we were initially vibing. I initially enjoyed talking to her. I enjoyed being in her presence, which don't happen all the time. Actually, very seldom. So I'm feeling it out. I'm on the slow road. She's giving me the femininity and just doing a little nice stuff. I'm like, cool, that's what's up. You know what I mean? Word. And then eventually, we went on ahead and had Bill Clinton relations, right? And within not even 2 weeks, I believe it was a week and a half, she relapsed and just went completely off the rails. And I'm like, so I initially don't cut her off, right? But I ain't gonna keep smashing you, of course. But I reach back in the sense of, okay, I've dealt with you personally, and I do like care about human beings, even though at the same time I don't care. But let me see, because I've dealt with you personally, and I feel like I know you to some degree. Let me see if I can help you get back on track for you, not hopefully so we can, you know what I'm saying? And I did that a few times, but once that wasn't reciprocated, or not even reciprocated, but once that was just all words, but there was no action behind it, block again. Then, I go on, do, whatever. Then somebody else will reach, and then I'm like, oh, man, you gotta go, help yourself and deal with your demons, whatever. Yeah, you right. Say all the right stuff, but do none of it. Block again. You know what I'm saying? I'm not playing, because that, me attempting, you say you want help, right? But you always grade someone based on their actions. So, if I don't see you doing what you say you about, ain't no sense in talking. It's just empty words, and it's wasting my time. And as I've gone through this journey, it's two things I truly despise. Don't waste my time. Now, you can make mistakes. Like, I'm not like that hard off, but you can't keep repeating the same mistake. And don't disrespect my intelligence. So you're on your own. And it hurts, but not for the reason most, like, I don't hurt like, damn, I lost someone. Like, it ain't that. I hurt for someone else. I'm hurt that you did that to you. You know what I'm saying? But I got to keep moving. And that might be harsh, but that's the way it got to be out here. Because if I don't do it like that, then I'm getting my time wasted. Now there's the potential to put me in these vicarious situations and that I know nothing of, in an attempt to give someone help who don't want to be helped by action. That's like, I don't know. Can you help me put this shed together? You know what I'm saying? Okay, I'm gonna help you put the shed together, but you don't bring any tools. You actually want me to do it for you, and you just want to be there to see it, but you don't want to put forth the effort either. And that's another thing. Like, these bros don't put forth no motherfucking effort, but I guess they will put forth effort. And I've seen it. Like, that's why I left the first time working in the treatment field, right? Because these staff member women with these various educations was smashing these dudes who, prior to meeting them, were either in prison or panhandling in the middle of the highway or sleeping underneath a bridge. But they will look out for them and da-da-da-da. You know what I'm saying? But you trying to start your own business or whatever. She's like, I'll wait till you know what I mean? Like, this junk crazy, bro. And I be thinking about it, I'm thinking, man. I would like to believe if I found that help meet, right? It would help expedite the process of my own goals, dreams, aspirations. You know what I'm saying? Not just as far as that, but also just when I'm not engaged in that, being in good energy and things that are, just good for your soul, right? But at the same time, I don't think that's for me at this current stage in time. Because I've actually, for the most part, gotten to where I've gotten at, overcome some things, hit some goals, basically from muscling up in the paint by myself and doing what most men can't or won't, which is be by themselves, which is hold yourself accountable, which is stay disciplined, self-improve, look for areas to become more efficient, come up with something and then look for ways to improve on it, holding myself accountable, making mistakes and learn and not repeating the same stuff. You know what I'm saying? Man, this is a wild joke. It's so bad now. Most women, like, it seems like once they get about 20, and it seems like the number's dropping, and there has to be something spiritual with it, right? And I'm not no pedophile by no stretch of the imagination, but it's like once a woman's like a couple years removed from college age, like once they hit about 24, it's like they start changing. Even if they don't have kids, I'm noticing like their shoulders are getting broad. They're getting funnier shaped. You know what I mean? Like, what the hell's going on? Like, before she gets ran through by the world or adopts this worldly mentality based on family members or celebrities, she's basically done. And then it's hard enough as a man, but I don't know a lot of women, and I've seen a few, like in the recovery world, who improve and become better women after going through, bad decisions. They typically get worse. And I know a lot of older women who are now inching up towards 60. They might have played the clubs, ran guys in their 30s, 40s. Now they're, either almost at or crossed over 50. And life has beaten them up because they can't, that's all they know, which is all, you can only know what you've done. But now at 50 some years old or in your late, you can't run dudes the same way. Or let's say you've managed to get some type of career for yourself. Ain't no man taking no 50-year-old woman because he's not looking at the fact you got money. He's looking at you, the human being. So then you'll have to date down and essentially trick off on a dude who plays the street or he's, buying clothes or he looks just good enough for us to take pictures for everybody else to believe I got something shaking and baking. I guess to a degree we've all been duped. But praise the Most High, He gave me eyes to see. And I've been seeing it. But a lot of my proclivities and behaviors at the time kept me kind of wrapped in it. Like even playing the bar, like I'm like, man, ain't nothing real in here. I'm just, drink. Because when I drink, I start talking. And I smoke weed, I like to hear the music. But that's the only reason. But I ain't taking nobody in there seriously. I've been on that, even while I was still doing it. I just didn't know, like, how to escape out of it, or I didn't understand the path of coming out of it and, coming fresh out of an old lifestyle, like the boredom or the losing of the identity and so on and so forth without really getting a new, you know what I mean? But, this wacky wild Kool-Aid style out here, man. Even, like, in this, like, even these young, like, like, I only send my daughter to school because they in that, like, we did it, when I was in school, and that was before social media. But now, like, these bros be wanting to train, right? Like, before you used to have to, like, trick them into it or set them up. Now, they be wanting to get tag teamed. You know what I'm saying? They be wanting the threesomes and, man, the land is defiled. But, man, I don't know, I just want to drop through with a quick one. Man, like my man say, cover your six. I'm out.